You are live.
So,
Hello, everybody.
We need a motion to open the meeting. Tim makes the motion, Jim seconds it. All those in favor? Please take the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we go way down to action items under G, okay, I'm adding a possible approval by the board, and it's Fire Protection Services Agreement. Fire Protection Services Agreement. And this came across my desk this afternoon, so that's why you didn't see it earlier. All right,
And is this agreement through the fire department or the fire commission?
it is the volunteer fire department, okay? They're applying for a grant, all right?
Yeah.
And so they need this document that there's an agreement between the fire department and the town of Waverly that they're gonna cover us for fire protection services. So that's why the request was made. They need this agreement so they can apply for grants.
Yep.
All right, so we have approval of minutes from previous board meetings. We have the December 15th minutes. Any questions or concerns? When I looked at it, it looked pretty good.
Look good.
Anybody wants to make a motion in a second? Billy makes the motion, Cindy seconds it. All those in favor? The meeting from December 15th meeting are approved. We have our organizational minutes on January 5th. Jill did a very good job. She gave them to me ahead of time, and so I kind of summed up pretty good. Okay. Cindy makes the motion to approve the January 5th meeting minutes. Jim seconds it. All those in favor? Minutes passed. On our original agenda, okay, for last Monday, the assessor was going to come, all right? But with the change and some of his personal problems, he couldn't make it tonight, all right? But he's going to be here for the February 23rd meeting, he's our new assessor. So I got public comment. I took the assessor out and I put the public comment. Anybody want to make comments tonight? If there's no public, and again, it's on, down under 9, so there's a second opportunity. Moving on, then the supervisor's report, you got the financials, all right, for the month of December. You can see there's a new account, there's the Waverly Lighting District where we cut out the, was part of the general budget, and now there's a separate budget for the lighting district. We'll be paying a bill on that very soon, so you'll see changes there. If there's no questions, we move on to the concessions. Again, we're making progress on all fronts. All right. However, there does seem to be the people who have the lease on 137 and 248, they don't seem to be making any progress. So in all probability, they're going to receive a letter, okay, to, they're not there, it's a seasonal thing, and so we'll probably not extend their lease, all right, in July. Any questions on the concessions?
Did Brad Marsh pay off last year's, like the January and then we?
No. If you can remember, there's litigation, okay?
Okay,
It's involved in this, and I think it's kind of stalled somewhere, so that's why there's no action there, okay? So, it's pending litigation.
are we gonna still follow the same policy for that then, or they?
I think we have to let the courts settle this
Okay.
matter, okay? Any other questions?
So with that one, are we going to send, I know we originally had procedure in place, the certified letter?
Right, which I'm gonna get from the attorney,
Okay.
okay? These letters, okay, which is, you know, you're not gonna continue your lease, you're gonna be evicted. That would be a letter that the attorney will draft for us. All right, I have the bus garage contract, all right, and it's just for us to think about it, all right? Currently, the school district pays us $27,000, all right? So we don't have to decide tonight, but, you know, what are we gonna ask for? Because the bus garage lease goes from July 1st of this year to June 30th of 2027, all right? So we have time to set this in place, but we should,
But are there people without heat right now? Is the bus garage without heat?
no, they have heat. They have
Okay,
heat.
that's all I'm,
There's a Modine that's working, then there's a common wood boiler between the bus garage, okay, and the highway department, so yes, they have heat, okay?
I was noticing on the bills, used to be, when I was on the board, you got an electric bill for the bus garage, the town garage, the fire department. And I'm just curious to look up actually how much electricity and how much propane they use a year at the bus garage to see if it's would constitute an increase or.
Yeah. So if you're requesting that, we can break that down, okay? Tricia can break that down
Okay,
of
yeah,
what we're paying for propane and electricity, okay?
Yeah.
And we can take it back a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay?
yeah, I'd like to see that and see how much we're actually using and if it's, we're not losing money or we're not doing, then, you know, we wouldn't have to increase it, but if, with the price of everything, the propane going up and the electricity, actually, how we're making out over there.
Okay, we'll you'll get a study, okay?
Yeah.
Of exactly what we're spending, okay?
Are all the repairs done to the bus garage, the roof and everything?
Oh, that's been done.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
And as far as I know, they're holding, okay? We did have some initial problems, but he came back twice, okay, and he fixed it, okay? So that, when winter started, okay, those leaks, okay, were repaired, okay? What's gonna happen over the course, with more snow and ice? Hopefully we won't, okay, but we'll have to see. Anything else on the bus garage contract? So at the next board meeting, you'll see costs, okay, of propane and electricity. We can move on then, I think. Next with the St. Regis Falls Cat Palace in St. Regis Falls. All right, I really haven't sat down with these groups, okay, okay. So we're still kind of negotiating, okay, these two contracts, okay? And I'll gladly meet with Sonia, okay? So those are both still a work in progress. All right, moving on. The AFR for 2023, it was actually filed with the Controller's Office on December 23rd, okay, of last year. So the Controller has that, okay? So somebody's looking at it, or it's sitting on somebody's desk, okay? And so when that's accepted, all right, then they'll start on 2024. Okay, but it's there in the control as of the 23rd of last year.
So we're actually behind 1 year now.
Yes,
24.
yes,
24.
okay, right. But by, some point here in 26, we gotta
Yes,
do 25.
right.
Okay, so, right now, we're one behind.
Only one behind.
Right, but in a short while, then
We'll be two.
we'll two. But we've come a long way
Yes, we have.
from when it all started. It was 2020 that we've been working on. And of course, it's been over 2 years. We kind of catch this up.
But this one may go faster. 23 may go a little faster.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so, okay? And again, right now, it's out of our hands. And of course, the one thing is that they'll have questions and Gray and Gray will have to answer those questions. And then sometimes I'm asked, okay, to help out, to bring clarity to certain things. So those things have yet to happen with 2023. Okay, so FEMA update. So this is a printout that's in your board packet. It talks about FEMA monies, okay? Because there's been issues with this about what I want to do and what Roger wants to do, and this brings big time clarity to that. These are the results for when FEMA reimburses the town highway department. Can the town board use that money for other uses? The opening statement, generally no. When FEMA reimburses a town highway department for disaster-related expenses, that money is intended for specific, approved, and documented disaster-related costs. And the town board cannot freely use it for unrelated expenses, all right? And then they go through a lot of different situations, okay? Restricted use, misuse consequences, documenting expenses, alternate project limitations, budget flexibility. So, and it all kind of justifies the opening statement, all right? There is a bullet way down at the bottom that says budget flexibility. while the funds cannot be used for unrelated projects, and in some cases, if the town board properly delegates authority in their budget ordinance, they might use the money to cover other direct disaster-related costs. So, these are my thoughts. When this building, this part of the building was flooded, okay, the general budget spent $18,000 to have this professionally cleaned, okay? So in my opinion, that would be another disaster-related expense, okay, that could be reimbursed. And then I would expect that, or at least in my interpretation, but it's up to the entire board, okay, that reimbursement could come back to the general fund because it had nothing to do with highways, it was this building, all right? And there's one other instance, in the campground. We had a grinder lift pump where the runoff from the hill inundated that pump, saturated it with silt, and destroyed it, okay? And that pump was important because it took, okay, sewage from the campers along the river, and it took their sewage and it lifted up to the sewer line, okay? So, and that, the pump itself was over $1,100 plus the man hours for it to be installed. So that would be another item that I thought could be reimbursed, okay, to the general fund, okay, because it was a damage, but it's not highway related. So this is the update on that. So the vast majority is gonna go to the highway department. And I cited 2 exceptions, which I would like some flexibility on. Any questions?
Did we not get money already for the damage to this building?
Yes, we did.
And then,
For cleaning this building, we received 75% of it from the feds, and we received 12.5% from the state of New York. Okay?
so we got that money already?
Yes, we have that.
And then, so what's the other 18,000 for that you're asking for this building?
Did I say 18? It was 8,000 to clean these rooms, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Okay? And then the pump would be, okay, that was maybe be between $1,100 and $1,500.
Again, what was, because we voted on this already, what was the expense to the highway department to reimburse them for those expenses? Have they been reimbursed?
No, because we have not.
I'm saying, what's the total expense from the highway department? I know we're putting it towards, like, we want to put the money towards the truck, but really the money, we've already paid it out to do the repairs.
Right, so there's over $200,000 that's
Right.
gonna come to the highway.
Right, and we voted on it, the meeting before that, to compensate the highway department back in full and use that money to go towards the new truck. And that was the one we voted on as a resolution. The meeting before last, of where the funds would go.
Right, from the, yeah.
Yep.
Right.
And I still hold to that, because it's gonna bring our highway budget up substantially if that's within these parameters, if we're getting the money back and then reusing it for the truck, because we're getting back the money that we've already paid out. Because we're gonna have that expense, and if we don't, the highway budget's gonna go up substantially in order to compensate for the next year on this truck.
And so first of all, there were 2 minor things being paid by FEMA. There was initial damages, all right? And then for cleaning this building, we've got some money. But the big money is, it's being reviewed by all of the agencies now, okay?
Right, but you mentioned this building to get the money back for the general fund, but we've already been paid for it. You said you already got a payout,
We have,
75%.
yeah, okay?
So I'm just saying, I'm still holding back to what originally, and we voted on for where this money was gonna go.
And you're gonna be able to do it?
Yeah.
Okay? You're gonna be able to do it.
the 75% was just for the damage in this building, right? That
Yes.
you got, 75%.
And that's the same thing for all of the highway damages. You know, let's say it's $250,000, okay? But the feds are only gonna pay us 75% of that, okay? And then the state of New York will come up with 12.5%, okay? So we're not gonna be reimbursed the total, 100%, okay? When that money comes in, we'll have a complete financial analysis, okay? And you'll see the money when it enters our accounts, and then we'll show you where it is, okay? But the money's gonna be there, okay, especially with the plan to a new truck down the line. That's the big thing, is to make the payment on where we borrowed money for the truck, all right, and that payment's due every September,
Yep.
and then planning for the one in the future. And again, we'll see the final dollars when they come and they're in our accounts, okay? Otherwise, they're just kind of
Do you foresee us possibly not getting it? I mean, the way the government's been going with FEMA, is it a possibility that,
and that's certainly possible. That's certainly possible, okay? That's why we have to wait and see when the cash is right in our accounts, then we know it's ours. Any other questions on FEMA? The skating rink, okay? I want to thank Billy Labonte. He and a few of volunteers have tried to get the skating rink up and going, and they've had lots of challenges, okay?
During the summertime, when they've had events down there, people have taken the boards down. Literally just ripped them, broke the screws off, and the boards aren't even up against the wall where they need to be. They're just laying there. The liner's got a great big rip in it. Inside the building, supposed to be all the screws for all the pieces that go along the bottom. There ain't even a tenth of the screws that need to be there to go to do it. But we discussed just trying to flood it like we used to. The old ice rink didn't have a liner in it, and then we just slushed up the water up against the concrete, and then filled the middle in with it. That's what we discussed about trying to do, because we can't use what's down there. So that we'll have to look at. Best thing would be is in the fall, if you got somebody that's going to do it, then they can get down there before everything's all frozen and everything, and get the pieces out and see what they need to fix it and use it.
And probably buy a new liner too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your efforts, all right?
Jared helped me too. He got me water.
That's my job.
All right, so we have water and sewer report. We're all aware of all the freezing temperatures that we have, okay? So we got freezing issues at the wastewater plant, okay? We've actually bought some heaters, okay, that are immersed, okay, to prevent, okay, excessive freezing. So that's one of the challenges that we're dealing with. Then there's a mystery, okay? There's a toilet in the wastewater, and somehow that line froze, all right? So they can't flush the toilet anymore. So Jared's been battling, okay, all of these issues. But the plant is still functioning, all right? And the wastewater into the river, okay, is acceptable by the standards that the DEC has. Spring Street lift station issues, okay? This has been an ongoing, okay, issue, all right? And so it's so bad that the wiring has been cobbed over the years, the pumps don't work, they've stopped working, all right? So we've approached our engineers, okay, at Tisdale, because they have the plans for it. And so an engineer, basically, he's gonna develop a plan. The wiring for the whole system is gonna be replaced, okay? And then, the pumps are gonna be put in place. If the pumps don't work, we're gonna have to buy new pumps. But I think we're basically gutting the whole thing electrically, all right, and replacing it so the thing works. You wanna add anything to that, Jared?
It's just been cogged so bad that it's completely unusable now. It's burned itself up. Almost every electrical component inside of it is unusable to where nothing turns on at all anymore. The phase converter's shot. They're running on one side of a 3-phase converter. And at this point, it either needs to be completely re-engineered or replaced. And that's the bottom line. There's no fixing it at this point. So
So when the engineer develops a plan, the plan is Tony LaRue and Jared are gonna do all the work, okay? To get the thing working properly. So,
I got a question, Ernie, on, when I was looking over the bill, there was a pump for up there that they bought for up there last year in March from ABC, and all of a sudden, I see the bill in there this time. Was it an overlook, or they just never billed you for it, and we just get the bill?
yeah, there was one bill that was in there very late, okay, from March. okay?
Yeah, that's the one.
That was the
Yeah.
one.
They
okay?
just didn't bill you, they did you just by
It fell through the cracks.
Okay,
All right,
just wondered.
but we came to the conclusion that we called them and we used them that day.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yes, there was one that was belated, okay, months.
Yeah, I just was curious.
Any questions? All right, so, Roger couldn't make it tonight, so, of course, they're down a man, okay? But they're busy keeping the roads, okay, in good shape, all right? And, I think the roads are in pretty good shape, okay, considering. The other thing is, we're still looking for a third driver, okay? So they're reviewing the applications, okay? And the decision is probably gonna be made in a short period of time for the third driver.
I took a ride around, and the reason for the tanker task force that I was given, that it was dangerous to plow that side road over there. When I took, coming down Johnson Street's way more dangerous than plowing that side road over there.
I think so
Coming
too.
down Shanley Hill is way more dangerous than even trying to plow that road for the fire trucks. So I still have an issue why they can't keep that cleared for the tanker task force.
I do too. I have a big issue with it.
I mean, there's no reason. I mean, he come right out and stated it might take 15 minutes to plow that. And if it's making the safety of the community better, I think 15 minutes of work to have the fire where they can use everything is. And I understand maybe right now, I talked to him, he said he'd think about it, that they're man down, maybe that's why he doesn't want to do it, but.
But that was done way before.
Yes,
the-
and it is an issue. There's no way they're gonna be able to go down, and now they plow down by the beach house and try to turn around
They
down
can't-
there.
they can't
There's-
turn.
They can't do it. And so, I really,
It's the other side you want plowed.
Correct.
The big parking lot, if that was plowed, there would be a huge area to turn around.
Yes,
Not the parking lot
it's
next to
not-
the beach house.
and that side road is a major better issue, because yet, when all your tankers come in, they can go down the road, come down and pull up next to the fire truck. They're not going down there, going around, and at the same time with that other side road, if there's a rescue call, it ain't all bottled up, because you've got fire trucks every which way. That side road's a way better road. But I don't ever remember, I don't know the issue, what it is there were,
I mean, it's
for
almost. been
50
plowed for
years they plowed
50
it, you know,
years.
and they didn't have an issue.
And they had better trucks. now than they did back then.
Yeah, back then they had the sanders were at the back of the truck. Now they're in front of the wheel, so you're sanding it, so you're not gonna slide. I don't, that's my feeling, and I really wish they would open it up, and it would really help the tanker task force, Wilbur's plan, because right now, it's, the highway won't work with the fire department. That's a problem. They gotta work together for the community. And for some reason, it isn't working together.
Just pray we don't have a fire.
Yeah. But besides that, they're doing a good job. I am not too happy about the man that, and he can decide to quit, resign, but not even giving them, not a 2-week notice. That's unprofessional. He should have given a 2-week notice, but he didn't. He just told him on Friday he was done.
Maybe we should be putting a contract next time.
Oh yeah, maybe it ain't in the
It
contract.
is on there.
It's not in the contract that you don't have to give it to. Oh, okay.
It's not in the contract.
Okay.
What I was told, okay, is the young man was told the following Monday, he had to show to work if he wanted the job, okay? So
Yeah.
the new employer made that demand, okay? And this was a much better job, bigger salary, more benefits.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I thought it had been part of the contract. Most of your places, you give a 2-week notice professionally, you do, so they could try to find a replacement.
This-
And they're doing a good job of being down there, man. I'm not questioning that at all. Everything is good, the roads are open.
Sometime this year, we'll be negotiating an extension of the contract. So maybe this is a point that we have to put in, okay? 2 weeks notice.
I was gonna ask Roger tonight, the $10,000 that they wanted to charge, they charged the town to plow in front of his doors and everything. First of all, if you figure out that out here is North River Road, technically, so how wide is that? He comes down and he plows it most of the time with his pickup, Roger, down there and out here. I don't see where the 10,000 coming. First of all, I know we're supplying the fuel in this truck. He's not charging us for wear and tear, but we're putting fuel in this truck. And he's under salary, so he can't say it's salaries. Where did he come up with 10,000 to plow this little bit when they charge Santa Clara 26,000 to plow the whole town? That 10,000, I don't know where they come up with that.
Did he say, I asked him that, didn't he say that they used to, when Travis was there, they paid him, is that right? The extra money?
At one point, okay, it was shared by the highway department and the general fund for plowing around this building. And then in Chad's years as supervisor, over time, it was shifted to the highway department away. Allegedly, that happened, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what he's pulling on, I guess.
Still, but it seems like, you can plow the whole town of Santa Clara for 26,000 and you're charging Waverly 10,000 for that little bit right here.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
We're doing.
But, so, and it's like I said, it's a point that had to be done because you're putting everybody at risk. But we'll get it straightened out one day.
Mhm.
Yes, we will. Anything else with the highway? All right, so we have some action items here, all right? This is the copier in the main office, okay? Simquest is the company for our new Alta copier. And as you can see from the paperwork, we were paying a monthly charge for that to lease that copier, $244.32. The new contract will reduce that to $210.03.
What are we doing for printing per month, for number of pages?
We don't pay.
Oh, no, I
It's
understand,
unlimited.
what I'm looking for is that $210 plus is expensive. I'm just curious, and that's ongoing indefinitely.
For
How
five,
much do
this
we-
is a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
Okay,
So what I'm saying though is that, how much do we print in this office that we are paying? What, 2,000 or something a year? Plus for printing, scanning?
Yeah.
I'm just curious of what our actual, are we printing 5,000 a year, 10,000 a year, or we 200 or 300 a year? Because if not, when you break that down per page, it's awfully expensive.
I'll have to give you a number. I don't know the number.
Is there a counter on that machine?
I'm sure there is, okay? I've never counted. We do a lot of things. We make copies, okay, for business reasons, okay? We have a small amount of people who come in and we make copies for them, but we only charge them a dime a page. So that's maybe $25 a year, okay? So that's not much. But in this day and age, you have to email all sorts of documents, and that copier makes it so easy. So you set up an email and you want to send the documents to whoever, all right? You punch it in and it's sent, and it's so convenient, okay? You can communicate, all right? So you back up your emails with the documents that you have. They also pay when we need more toner, okay? The toner's included. When there's something wrong with the machine, which is extremely rare, okay? The technician sometimes he comes that day, or he comes the next day, but rarely is there a malfunction. The machine is so good, all right? Tricia and I are very supportive of this machine, and we're gonna get a new machine. The only thing that we have to pay, the $210 a month, okay? But the only additional cost is the paper that we have to buy the paper to put in.
Yeah.
There's no additional cost.
Normally you have to pay for the toner, which is very expensive.
Right. You call them, the toner is delivered, okay? And they don't charge us for it. When the repairman, the technician comes, there's no bill. It's taken care of at the $210 a month. So this is a 5-year deal, okay, at $210. Any other questions? I don't have it there, but it's a 5-year lease agreement at $210.93.
Need a motion?
Oh, yeah,
I'll make a motion.
Cindy makes a motion, Billy seconds it, all those in favor? Anybody opposed?
Until I see the number of pages and what it's costing us, I'm opposed to it. I don't know what you're doing for printing and scanning. I know I've serviced printers and I've put them in for years.
Yeah.
So I know the cost of running them as the big unit and is running it as what you call small business unit.
And see, I couldn't even tell you if it's a big unit or it's a small business.
I don't know.
I would like to think it's probably a small business unit.
I think this is cheaper than what we're doing at the center.
Well, again, we're getting brand new things and the monthly rate's going down, all right? So, and again, they're so responsive. On the rare occasion something's wrong, the technician is here, okay? All right, but the motion passes, so we have a lease agreement, okay? All right, using the advice that Jim gave us, so we have with the Legion, all right, we have an agreement A, and then we have an agreement B. So there's two different contracts. And I've worked with Don, okay, to finalize this. So if you look at A, you can see that some of the services are different. There's a rider in there that was printed by hand. Tricia has very neat printing about that you have the right to review the financial records of the Legion to ensure proper expenditure of said monies. So that was another requirement. So that's what contract A says. Contract B, all right, is slightly different. Organize appropriate celebratory activities for our national holidays such as Memorial Day, 4th of July celebration, and Veterans Day. These celebrations will be open to the general public. And then there's the waiver in there that we can look at the expenditure of that money.
Legion happy with this, Don? Make the motion.
All right, so there's gonna be two. You've got agreement A, all right? Billy makes the motion, Cindy seconds it, all those in favor? Then we have agreement B. Billy makes the motion, Cindy seconds it, all those in favor? All right, so both are signed. Both are approved, I should say, not signed.
So we didn't have to pick one?
No, totally true.
Okay,
Is everything okay?
I thought we'd pick one, because I mean, they're pretty much the same, but.
Yeah, but they're slightly different, okay?
Yep.
All right, next is judicial financial report for 2025. It's the responsibility of the board and myself to review our justice's books, Lawrence Frazier. So I've gone through, I think every board member has gone through.
Yes.
And reviewed that, okay? So are we comfortable? Because we have to have this motion and then turn it into the state, okay?
I didn't want to tell my father-in-law, but I think Larry kept his books a little neater and cleaner than Jack did. Larry's is pretty right in order.
It was really organized.
Yeah.
Well, but you probably don't know this, but his wife is the substitute,
Yeah.
okay, a
Yeah.
clerical person for the court.
Yeah.
So I think she's helpful.
Yeah, she
She's
helped,
helpful in
yeah.
that.
Jeff had to do all of his own. Yeah.
All right, so a motion to approve the financial report for our judge for 2025. Jim makes the motion, Tim seconds it. All those in favor? All right, we have the new Modine, the Modine for the bus garage is the next action item. So last meeting, which was the 5th, okay, we wanted more information from one of the quotes from one of the companies. So Cornerstone has a quote of $8,769. That's to remove the old Modine and put a new one in place. Goodrich is the second company, refrigeration from North Lawrence. They want 6,400, okay, to do that. And then we have a third quote from Heat Plus, from Dickinson Center, which is much more specific this time. And the quote is $5,495.86. So the people with,
So, yeah, that one, yeah.
with all of the technical knowledge, what do you think, Jim, Billy?
Well, Jimmy was talking to Jared, this last unit is like 49,000 BTUs less
And the other two.
than the other two. And that's a big space over there. Do you want something that's less BTUs than you have right now?
Well, that should be a consideration.
Because they're not bidding equally. When we put out bids, from now on, we need to give them an example of the unit that we want. And they can bid on that unit or
Well,
equivalent
we do it right now with.
for size and
Yeah,
stuff, so they're all bidding on the same,
Yeah, I mean, these other ones are more.
whatever it is. Not just a heating unit, but
Now, are they two different units, Jared, that these companies offer?
The last one, they offer all sorts. but-
Yeah, but no, I was talking about, Cornerstone and Goodrich, is either the units there, what, is there one that's better than the other, or?
Modine is a higher quality, always will be, it's kind of the standard. But I can't remember what the other one was.
E Plus has Modines, okay?
Goodrich has what's called a red card.
Red card.
And OR.
Yeah, and,
All it is a heat exchanger with a fan on the back of it at the end of the day. So whatever the motor is on the back is what you're really looking at, is as far as quality goes. So. But for the size of space, you really need to think about the BTUs.
yeah, I think about the BTU, but say the other one, I mean, it's a couple $1,000 difference between Cornerstone and Goodrich. And,
With that lower BTU unit, you're gonna see it cycling a lot more,
yeah,
because it's gonna
I
try to
didn't,
catch up, right? So it's gonna be running a lot more, so it's gonna be using a lot more propane, because it's gonna be less efficient for that space too.
I was just looking at the other two there, $2,000 something difference. What is the warranty on the?
it doesn't say, the only one that shows warranty is,
Goodrich has a 5-year.
5 and 10, yeah.
5-year complete warranty and 10-year exchange.
And Cornerstone and the other guy doesn't have anything.
Have any warranty on it?
I don't know. Wait, you throw them back at them or else bid on what we think, so everybody's on the same page. Probably want something.
The three representatives from the three different companies came here. And I took them in the bus garage and I said, see that Modine it doesn't work, I want one to replace it.
Yeah.
And I didn't give them anything more than that, okay? Which, the BTUs and all the other things. So that's what I did.
Mhm.
So I was specific, but not as specific as I should have been. probably.
I don't know, well, Goodrich has got a warranty and they're over $2,000 cheaper than Cornerstone. I'd say go with Goodrich. What do you think, Derek? Do you know anything about either of the company, which one you prefer?
I would prefer Goodrich.
Yeah.
They do really good work.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a motion from Billy to go with Goodrich, okay, at $6,400. You have a second? Tim seconds it. All those in favor? All right, we're going with Goodrich. Thank you.
Quite the difference.
All right, assistant interim operator for a water district at $2,000 a month from February 6th to June 6th. It's what we've been doing, okay, month by month. Okay, Cindy makes the motion. Kim seconds it. All those in favor? Motion passes. Possible acceptance of the resignation of Daniel Farrell Jr. as an employee of the town of Waverly, effective at the end of the workday on January 9th, 2026. It just, Tim makes the motion, Billy seconds it, all those in favor. All right, so we got the addition of G, all right, the Fire Protection Services Agreement. Again, this came across my desk today. To me, it looks pretty standard, but they need this in order to apply for grants. That they have an agreement to fight fires in the town of Waverly.
Could I ask a question on that for you, Bowen?
Okay, certainly.
There's two types of districts in the town, a fire protection and a fire district, right?
Yeah.
So if you're the fire district, you've already established that you're gonna, what is it asking for?
This is between the volunteer fire department and the town of Waverly, okay?
Don't you already have that? You got a fire district.
It sounds like they're getting nitpicky and they want this, the verbiage to be correct. And I think all we're voting on right now is that they're gonna provide fire for the district, but this other company called us something else in order to get the grants. I think they're just,
They need this for the grants that they're applying for.
which I think you're right.
And probably years ago, there was a written agreement. Where a copy of that is,
A fire protect, when you're a fire protection district, the town handle, how does it work, you know? I can't quite remember, but on a fire district, I mean, you have a board that draws up the budget and provides protection to the town. I just don't, why you need it, but.
the grant writer, okay, emailed me and said that they needed this in order to apply for this DHSES grant application, that they needed this.
And it does say that right in here. This agreement is intended to satisfy documentation requirements for state and federal funding.
And that's 6, right, under grant
Yeah.
requirements?
Yeah,
And it does say that if neither party is happy, you can get out of it within 30 days. It's not costing us any money.
I think it's just some formality they want for, like North saying that they get the fire district. They're already committed.
I know.
I think we
There-
voted on it with the
there's no getting out
follow-up
of it.
thing, just checking to make sure that we're.
You're already required on, as a fire district to fight any fire there is in town.
and it does say that in here, that they're still gonna provide all this stuff. Rescue, emergency, medical, fire.
See, the rescue is on that, but the rescue's not part of the fire district, no. That's its own entity. But
It just satisfies the grant people's.
Yeah, they want to make sure that
we can get
the
some.
grant's legit, okay, and the town of Waverly is behind them.
And, I think according to, they fix a lot of stuff over there too, part of the grant where we were saving time that they could fix a lot of broken stuff and different
Right.
things they got in there. Well, I make a motion, so we accept this agreement.
I'll second it.
Okay, you got that, Joe? All those in favor? All right, we agree to the fire protection services agreement. Thank you. Public and board comments.
Ernie, on the organizational meeting, you tabled the Legion, the Adult Center, and the Cat Tower. You didn't you approved Lifeline. Do you have a contract with Lifeline?
I'm working on that, okay?
But you approved Lifeline without a contract, yet you denied the other three. I'm just interested in why Lifeline was approved without a contract and the other three weren't.
Because we were, in the past, there was never, I could never find a contract, okay? And so we're here voting on that, and Cindy says to me, you should have a contract already, okay? So,
Yeah, you're supposed to. I mean,
yeah, it's an oversight.
Lifeline is no different than the Legion, the Cat Palace, and the Adult Center. They're all,
So I haven't sent them money, I'm gonna try to get a contract, okay, and correct that, okay? You're right.
Another thing, a year or so ago, you went with, what's the name of it? Azure,
Oh, yeah, see the power. Azure Bell. The power you're talking
Yeah.
about? They
has
just- they just
anybody
sold.
been keeping track of the kilowatt? They're supposed to be, what was it, 3/4 of a cent or a penny a kilowatt?
They were
More
just-
than,
Yep, they were just sold too. Azure Mountain Power was sold to a company out of Chicago. So
So it was sold recently, because I asked about that and I wasn't quite
it's
sure.
not alive. I couldn't get any information out if that's how it's gonna affect us.
Yeah, I have no idea, okay?
that's why you gotta keep track of that, because I guarantee you, they'll be up there.
I can't
You'll
find
be
anything
paying
yet.
more than if you would have stayed with, National Grid, because they basically go out to, try to find you the cheapest one out there for your power.
Expired.
And because
Wire.
of the drought, okay, they weren't making electricity.
He said at the time that it would only be about a few months out of the year when they're producing power. I mean, he told you he was gonna be buying it up. He was gonna be buying it the same way National Grid buys it.
Right,
They buy
and then
it,
there's two other
Yeah.
places where they produce it, too,
yeah,
this company.
but they had under contract two other places, was it?
Right, one on the Racket River and one on the,
Yeah.
Willsboro, I think, whatever river that is, I can't remember.
But the power you're buying, most of it's coming from like same place National Grid furnishes it. Independent, suppliers. So it's something you have to watch, so next time you look at the kilowatt and then look at your home kilowatt and see what you're paying.
Well, you gotta look at the big thing with National Grid they brought up is the delivery charges went up.
The
Like
what?
through the roof. The delivery
Yeah.
charge, you don't actually, you may
Yeah, they
get a
did.
$5 bill and have a $300 delivery charge.
Yeah.
Maybe not that radical.
It usually, with mine, the delivery runs about the same as the supplier. Sometimes it got that ESRM there that it depends on if it's a negative, if they're paying less, then they give you a credit, and if they're paying more, they charge you, so.
There's no recently heard that they went
Oh, yeah, they're,
drastically up on their delivery charges. Like.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
went through, they had to go through the Public Service Commission. They got an increase for their, through the Public Service Commission this past year. They just can't raise it. They have to go through the Public Service Commission to ask for a rate increase.
But they got it, I think.
Yeah, they got part of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
they got it.
Last thing is, highway transfer, where did the 10,000 come out of?
Well, this is what happened, okay? I asked Roger, the budget hadn't been rolled over from 2025 to 2026, and I said, it's gonna be a couple of days, and then I'll transfer the money. Roger said, don't do it. So, it was good, it comes out of the it would have come out of the general budget to the highway, but it hasn't been done.
So don't transfer it to highway? What,
It would be transferred from the, 10 grand would have been transferred from the general budget to the highway budget.
right, but where is it, what, line item is it coming out of the,
The building fund, okay?
so you're,
There's a building fund that takes care, okay, of all of our buildings, electricity,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
the propane, all right? And anything that's gotta be repaired, it comes out of the building fund. And that's the line item in the general fund, where it comes from.
So.
But it hasn't been moved.
You've lost me, you said don't do it, you've lost me on this.
Meaning you don't want the highway to get the 10,000.
Yeah.
They're gonna do it and not
So I
charge.
told him, because we approved to move it, and I said, in a couple of days, when everything's transferred from 2025 to 2026 budget, okay, then I was gonna move the money, okay? And he said, don't move it.
He said, I don't want it.
So nothing happened.
Oh, I owe them apology, don't stop.
I guess I might need that. Things are kinda tenuous, okay? At best.
We had to move the car show to the 28th
Of June.
of June. I got a letter if you want for the 20th. It's the same letter, but it's just the 20th of June.
So, this is the Legion approaching the town to use, the fire department and the town offices and the garages for their car show. And so what, it was June,
It was gonna be June 6th, but it conflicted with another show, and then the 13th, the firemen have their chicken cook-off, wherever it is. So.
we're changing that from June 6th, 2026 to June 20th.
And that's on Oxford.
Did you have in it, do you want the parking, the road closed off?
Yes.
We wanted to have that last year, we didn't have that
That's-
this year, because
that's
of last
fine.
year almost.
Yeah,
I know that there's I've already talked to Will about it. I'll tell you right up, the Adam Cox motorcycle runs that day too. But hopefully we can work something out with them to be beneficial for both of us. I don't want that to be a surprise to anybody.
Okay. I need a motion to change the Legion's car show for June 20th. Billy makes the motion, Jim seconds it. All those in favor? And officially changed. Anybody else? What? Nobody brought it up?
I don't have a dog in the fight, but I'm just curious on this water deal. It's officially closed now, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
If somebody in town, and I don't have a dog in the fight, so I have town water, but if somebody's water in town for some reason like freezes and they temporarily need it, are they allowed to come and get it or
Okay.
how does that work?
We would help them, okay?
Because they're paying, I mean, you pay for it whether you use water or not, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because there's no meter on it.
So if you're part of the water district,
That-
okay,
is that-
you're having problems with the we'll make accommodations, right, Jared?
I told everybody that's
Yeah.
had an issue that if they need water, we can get it for them.
Seeing that one.
In some capacity, 5 gallon jugs, if they supply them, we'll make
Yeah.
it happen, whatever they need, because they do, they
The
pay
big
it.
thing is,
It's
So
their-
these people are part of the water
Water
district,
and-
okay?
Right.
Plus, they pay the tax, plus they pay the user fee. So of
They were
course,
illegal. for the town. to
Well, I just
sell.
knew a guy that had his water pipes freeze up for about a week.
Everybody else that produces.
I didn't ask
bottle
him,
water,
but I got to
They
thinking,
said the government can't be.
if that was in effect, would the town give him
So you have to
Him-
establish.
some water, so you know he's paying for it anyway?
I think Andrew talked about, and I did tell him. that
We got-
Be able to get water.
Gentlemen, okay, we got people on the floor talking, and then we got a side conversation. So I apologize for
Oh, it's not for a I don't have a dog.
that. Did I myself? Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we need a motion to adjourn. Billy makes it, Ken seconds it, all those in favor? Aye. So our next meeting is February 23rd, okay?
Larry.
Don't get over here.
Now we're kind of up.
Hey, what would be?
I wish you would, now I gotta give an apology. Ronald Powell did.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Right.